Whether they're influencing his music or inspiring his tattoos, Michael Bublé's family means everything to him, starting with his parents. Over the years, the voice coach has emphatically talked about how his mom and dad shaped him into the man he is today and how much he appreciates them. Read on to learn all about Bublé's parents, the Grammy winner's childhood, and why his father urged him to not follow in his career footsteps. Louis Bublé, Michael Bublé, and Amber Bublé pose at the star ceremony on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, held on November 16, 2018 in Hollywood, California. Who are Michael Bublé's parents? Bublé was born and raised in British Columbia, Canada by his parents, Father Louis and Mother Amber. Bublé also has two younger sisters, Brandy and Crystal, who he described as the two best friends any lucky guy could ask for in a sweet post on Instagram. In addition to being Canadian, Bublé's parents are also both of Italian descent, and the singer is so proud of both his Canadian and Italian roots that he obtained his Italian citizenship in 1995. Bublé's father worked as a commercial salmon fisherman, and his mother was a stay-at-home mom, raising him and his sisters. Our house was boisterous and at times loud compared to my friends' homes, which might not be too surprising, considering our Italian heritage. Bublé wrote in his 2011 book On Stage, Off Stage, via an excerpt published. It is well known that Michael Bublé, the suave crooner who has captivated millions of listeners all over the world with his rich voice and timeless classics, is noted for his warmth, charm, and exceptional ability to merge jazz and pop with seamless elegance. However, there is a narrative that many people are unaware of that lies behind the spotlight, behind the popular songs, and behind the booked-out tours. It is the story of a young guy who had significant aspirations, a father who was encouraging but cautious, and the danger of pursuing an uncertain future in music, which, as it turned out, was a difficult path to traverse. In an interview that is exclusive to him, Michael Bublé discusses the guidance that his father, Louis Bublé, provided to him at an early stage in his career. This piece of advice would serve as a guiding principle for him throughout his journey to prominence. The father of Michael, a guy who had made his own way in life and had a pragmatic outlook, was not sure that the unpredictable world of music was the best road for his son to choose. Michael recalls his father telling him with a grin, "Listen, I was supposed to be a doctor, but look where I ended up." Michael was expecting to become a physician. When it comes to this business, you need to be very astute. It is necessary for you to have something steady and stable. Is it music? That's somewhat of a risk. During the early years, a concern for the father. Michael Bublé's early upbringing was entrenched in a sense of discipline and practicality because he was born into a family that placed a great importance on hard work and ambition. Being a fisherman and someone who had spent his whole life advocating for working with your hands, Louis was well aware of the challenges that come with pursuing a desire without any assurance of success. The hazards that come with being an artist, particularly a musician, were something that he was aware of, and he was not keen to see his son take that leap of faith without giving it thorough consideration. He would tell me, "Listen, Michael, you don't want to live in a world of uncertainty. The world is full of uncertainty. I have spent my entire life toiling away in order to attain a consistent wage. It is necessary for you to have a plan." In Michael's explanation, his concern was not that he did not believe in my talent. Rather, it was that he did not want me to go through the pain of a career in something that could easily fall apart. However, Michael was aware that he needed to act in accordance with his heart, despite the words of his father. At a very young age, Bublé was able to sense the draw of music that was impossible to resist. The music of the great crooners, such as Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and of course, the legendary Tony Bennett, captivated him, and he was unable to ignore the emotion that was buried deep within him. The act of singing evolved from a simple pastime into an addiction for him, something that brought him a sense of vitality that no other activity could produce. He possessed a voice that had the power to move people to tears, and he desired to share it with the entire world. The question that remained, however, was whether or not he could actually succeed in a field that was so riddled with unpredictability. A father's influence. The push and pull of his children. During the early stages of Michael's professional life, the tension that existed between his dream and his father's guidance was obvious throughout the entire process. As Bublé began his road toward becoming a professional singer, he frequently found himself struggling to strike a delicate balance between his personal aspirations and the words of caution that he had received from his father. Lewis was constant in his presence, providing support in his own unique manner, but he was steadfast in his conviction that success in music, or any other career for that matter, could not be relied upon solely on one's own efforts. I remember my father sitting me down and telling me, "This business is full of heartbreak. You could end up getting knocked down quite a few times before anyone even notices you. Assuming that you are not well prepared for that, you will be dissatisfied. It is imperative that you give some thought to a backup plan," Michael reveals. Nevertheless, Michael was resolute in spite of the advice he received. As he continued to cultivate his skills and book gigs in smaller places, he continued to make progress. During this time, Bublé would have a profound understanding of the difficulties and sacrifices that come with pursuing a career in the music entertainment industry. He played a large number of gigs in venues that were small and barely lit, and he frequently performed in front of audiences that were either uninterested or uninformed of who he was. The path to success did not begin with quick acclaim or stardom that seemed to appear out of nowhere. There were innumerable instances in which Michael questioned whether or not his dream would ever be achieved. These instances were times of doubt. Michael found himself at a fork in the path at one point. It was unclear to him how much longer he would be able to continue the monotonous rhythm of playing in obscurity. On the other hand, just as he was about to give up, he was presented with an unexpected opportunity. After listening to him sing, a well-known producer was so taken with his voice that he offered him the opportunity to record a demo. Michael took his first significant move toward becoming a superstar with the release of that demo, which eventually attracted the attention of a large record label. In his admission, Michael says, "I believe that my father was the one who taught me to be realistic about this. However, it was also my father who instilled in me the belief that there is a certain quality that comes with taking chances when you have complete faith in yourself. I have a feeling that he wanted me to take those risks, but he also wanted me to be rational about it. Therefore, I continued to strive for it." The crucial moment. The shifting perspective of dad to his children. The way that Michael's father viewed the road that Michael had chosen to take began to change as Michael's career began to achieve success. Lewis began to see the results of his son's efforts, and he was no longer merely a concerned or anxious parent. The audiences at the events that were completely sold out, the songs on the radio, and the consistent exposure that Michael was receiving for his tremendous gift inspired him. Within a short period of time, Lewis came to the realization that his son's decision to take a risk and enter the unpredictable world of music had been successful, and that it was now more than simply a gamble. In the beginning of my career, my father attended one of my performances, and I will never forget the smile of pride on his face when he witnessed how much the audience adored me. After the event, he embraced me tightly and said to me, "Son, I was wrong about this." As Michael recalls this, his eyes begin to soften. "You were meant for this," he says. It was a time that I will never forget, and I believe that same goes for him. This was one area in which Lewis had been correct. The world of music was fraught with uncertainty. On the other hand, Michael had demonstrated that he was capable of making it work if he had the desire, tenacity, and unflinching belief in his unique voice. Without sacrificing who he was or the things he cared about, he was able to live the life he had always imagined for himself and achieve his goals. The influence of long-term effort. In light of the fact that Michael Bublé is now one of the most successful entertainers in the world, he frequently thinks back on the guidance that his father provided to him decades ago. He is aware of the significance of having a solid foundation and a pragmatic approach to life. But he is also aware that pursuing your passion frequently necessitates taking risks and having faith in your capabilities, particularly in situations where the odds are stacked against you. Michael expresses his gratitude to his father for sharing all of his knowledge with him. He taught me the importance of putting in a lot of effort and being aware of what is actually significant. However, he also allowed me the liberty to pursue my goals and ambitions. Furthermore, that is something that I will never forget. In the end, Michael Bublé's narrative is not only one of great success in the music industry, but also of perseverance. The pursuit of our aspirations can lead to something remarkable, even when many around us have questions or misgivings about it. This serves as a reminder of this fact. A spectacular career has been achieved as a result of the combination of a father's wisdom and a son's dedication, demonstrating that sometimes the most significant risks are the ones that are also the ones that are worth taking. Michael may have been advised to steer clear of the unpredictability that comes with pursuing a career in music. Nevertheless, in the end, it was precisely this uncertainty that helped him become the person he is today, one of the most cherished voices of his generation. And for that, he will be grateful until the end of time.